Hello again. There's a piece in this fortnight's Private Eye about Darren Jones, the Labour MP for Bristol West, whom Keir Starmer has just appointed as his shadow Chief Secretary to the Treasury. Now, this is going to be of great interest to people in my home city of Bristol, because it shows you in what direction Keir Starmer is trying to push the Labour Party to, and it's basically what a lot of people on the left has been saying. He wants to turn it into a shadow version of the Tory party, just like Blair did. Now, the article is Keeping Up with the Joneses. It's on page 13 of Private Eye for the 22nd September to the 5th of October 2023. And it runs. What pointer does the promotion of a Bristol West MP, Darren Jones, to Shadow Chief Treasury Secretary give us to where Labour is heading? Well, Jones attracted attention for his grilling of post office and P&O bosses as chair of the Business Select Committee. He is also a former lawyer and lobbyist for privatised utilities, who seemed perfectly happy hobnobbing with a secretive, Tory-linked firm set up by former spooks. Jones also declared after his 2017 election that the former Labour Prime Minister, Tony Blair, was my hero MP of all time. Jones was previously seconded as an in-house lawyer with privatised energy firm RWE Npower, so it's no surprise he is in tune with Labour leader Keir Starmer in junking nationalisation policies. Hired by BT as legal counsel in 2015, Jones says he worked with the regulatory team interfacing with Ofcom, CMA, which is the Competition and Markets Authority, and other sector regulators. In other words, he was lobbying. Jones says BT was supportive of his parliamentary ambitions, giving him a month off on full pay to campaign in the 2017 election, where he won his seat. Having one of his former in-house lawyers who represented the firm against the regulators in Parliament as an MP was no doubt an appealing prospect. Floundering somewhat in the Jeremy Corbyn news, Jones moonlighted as a legal consultant to tech law firm Kemp Little. In 2020, he announced a new think tank, the Pathway to Power Commission, for MPs unhappy with Labour's leftward lean. Despite a supportive puff piece in the Mirror, the commission never appeared, and his career is now flourishing under Starmer. The latest register of MPs' interest shows Jones remains keen to prevent big business. He lists £950 of accommodation and food from corporate intelligence firm Hacklit. Eyes pass him ad nauseum to attend its Forum conference in May. Hacklit, set up by former MI6 officers to sell intelligence skills, is chaired by Lord Dayton, a former banker and minister in David Cameron's government. It recently hired Jamie Hope, head of policy, to Liz Truss during her brief premiership. But Hacklit has also reached out to Labour, hiring Emily Benn, a former Labour parliamentary candidate, and Easter frontbencher Hilary Benn. Hacklit does not say who it works for, though a court case shows it previously worked for chemical giant Monsanto. And in 2001, the Sunday Times reported that it hired a spook to work undercover in Greenpeace for clients Shell and BP. Private Eye asked Darren Jones if he could say anything more about the Hacklit forum, but he did not respond. Now, the privatisation of the utilities has been absolutely disastrous. Bills have shot up while the services have declined, and we've seen in the water companies, massive bankruptcy due to them taking the subsidies that which were supposed to help them clean up the water, and just give it to their shareholders and as hugely inflated dividends, and the board again has big inflated pay, and rail privatisation has been a disaster because the railways are cutting services, again raising prices, and receiving more money in subsidies than they have actually when British Rail was nationalised. You're just seeing it right across the board. Furthermore, Tony Blair, when he got into power, he did as much or more to privatise the NHS as the Tories did. And as a result, bureaucracy has increased along with cutting services. Because this is what privatised health service looks like. They do, looks like. It has massive administration costs. In America, they go up to 40%. Just on administration, also legal departments to stop them being sued. And it's said in that way within the DSS, the NHS. Also, Tony Blair created a corporate state by giving jobs to CEOs or senior company executives, overseeing the regulatory bodies that were supposed to be keeping them in line. This is big business. And again, if you read books like George Monbiot's Captive State, or Rory Bremner, John Bird and John Fortune's You Are Here, you will see that this is a massive con. It's all a massive con. And that the public-private finance initiative Blair was so keen on actually resulted in worse services and bloated payments going off to the private sector for services that weren't delivered, were frequently were over budget, over time, and quite often not wanted by the communities that were forced to have them. Now, this is the direction Keir Starmer is moving in, and quite honestly with you, if you were left-wing in Bristol West, I would strongly advise you to think again about whether or not you want to vote Labour. Because I think with the way Starmer is leading the Labour Party, you will just get the Conservatives under another name, pretending to be for the working class or something. It's the same Tory policies. Exactly the same Tory policies. You'll be swapping Tweedledum for Tweedledee. So if you're left-wing in the Bristol West constituency, I strongly urge you to look at other competing left-wing parties and consider voting for them and not Mr. Jones. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.